Well, here we are. We're in the basement. We're back in lockdown here in Toronto. I hope lockdown's going great wherever you are. Or if it's about to begin, I hope you have a pleasant lockdown as we worry about the second wave of COVID 19. But I'm actually not going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about something else with you here. One of the problems we have in this country right now, and we'd actually seen this before, is that the federal government really only seems able to focus on one thing at a time. COVID 19 is a real problem. I'm not saying otherwise. The pandemic is a massive threat to so much of life as we know it, the public health, the economy, etc. I get it, but it's not the only one. And during the first Trudeau term, his majority term, one of the things that got noticed by a lot of people was that so much energy, so much time and attention and manpower was taken up dealing with the kind of turbulent Trump administration, particularly on the NAFTA file, that the Canadian government did not have a lot of foreign affairs bandwidth left to deal with anything else. That's one of the reasons it's been suggested we lost that UN Security Council seat. It just took everything we had just to keep trade with the United States more or less open. We're starting to see that a bit again, I think, where the federal government is so bogged down in all the details of the pandemic that it's losing track of something else it really needs to be keeping an eye on: China. And I know I'm being maybe a little bit charitable here by suggesting that they're simply overwhelmed as opposed to dragging their feet intentionally for various political and personal reasons. But just for the sake of optimism, let's say that that's exactly the case, that it's not that there is a lobby within the federal government, the Liberal Party in particular, that wants to go easy on China, but that it's a burden thing. They're overloaded. There's too much going on with the pandemic. We had an interesting moment this week where the foreign affairs minister had said that the captivity of the two Michaels in China really limits how strong an action Canada can take against China. And he said, we're working with our allies, we're working with like-minded countries to try and keep China within the rules-based international order or some such. And this is fresh off comments last week where he had said, yeah, we're worried about China, and sure, we're committed to taking a tough line on their ill behavior. But hey, also, we really rely on their tourists, and our hospitality industry really needs them. The Liberal government is either unwilling to take on China or is so distracted by the pandemic that they can't, but they're starting to sound increasingly ridiculous. Saying that we can't take any action against China, modest economic action, apply some sanctions, hit them with some tariffs, ban Huawei from our 5G networks. Saying we can't do that because they have the two Michaels is a really long-winded way of saying taking hostages works. I don't know what China's going to do to the two Michaels. I know that if we cower in fear of what they might do to the two Michaels, we're going to guarantee a third Michael. They're going to grab some other Canadian and put them in a confinement as well. And then what are we going to do? We have to be willing to be tough on this, or else we are rewarding the bad behavior of the hostage takers. And to say that we can't get tough on China because we need their tourists, I mean, come on. China is asserting itself. They are stepping out on the world stage. I don't even blame them. They're pursuing their own rational self-interest, at least as they see it. We need to do the same. And if we're so enthralled to the bucks Chinese tourists spend here, or so worried about what might happen to the Canadians who have been deep sixed into Chinese cells, we're never going to get serious on this. China is serious. Canada isn't. When are we going to get there? Sooner or later, we're going to run out of pandemic to use as an excuse. So why not get started today?